So this palette came in right before I went on my trip. I have been in Florida for 2 weeks. I'm tired. I do miss the humidity for my hair. That humidity did wonders for this. But what are we talking about today? Well, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lauren. Welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about the new Danessa Myricks palette. Now, what is this palette called? It's a name. It's the Lightwork Volume 4 Transcendence palette, illuminating eye and face pigments, and it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a beauty. Now, this palette you can buy this palette in pretty much anywhere. It's at Sephora, not Ulta, but you can get it off beautylish.com as well. And it's $125. Is it worth it? I don't know. Do I think any palette is worth $125? Valid question. I don't know if I do, but I thought we would just play with this and just check it out, see what it's about, do some swatches. It's interesting because the insert, which you're not going to be able to see at all because it's a clear insert, it tells us what's in this palette. And it's like velvet chromes, glass metallics. We have a couple pressed chrome flakes, and then we have some aqua chromes, which are aqua liners. So the ones on the end are the water activated water liners, and they look beautiful, but I don't know if we're gonna be playing with them today. I'm gonna be honest, I normally don't do a whole lot of liner work with like the aqua liners that exist. I don't know. I get too lazy. They're a lot of work. So I think I might try doing some shorts using the aqua liners and playing with them and figuring them out. But we're probably not going to get to those two today. Again, just so you have an idea of what we're dealing with, these are all multi-chromes. So you should be seeing a little bit of a shift on camera. And I thought it would be fun to do the same look on both eyes, but using two different primers. I always talk about the importance of primers on your eyes and how they can really make the eyeshadow pop. So we've got two primers. We have the Gimme Glow primer in Outline, so it's black, and then we have the Gimme Glow primer in Blank Canvas, white. So we are going to be using two opposite color primers, and we're going to see what the different looks are using the exact same colors. So first, I do want to do some swatches, kind of get an idea of how some of these eyeshadows perform, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the look. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and swatch the palette. We're not going to swatch the two ends on the middle row because those are the aqua liners, and they're probably not going to swatch, but we are going to swatch all the other multi-chromes, and it's just going to be on bare skin, so no primers or anything. So we're going to go ahead and start with Trans. Wow, it's a silky formula. Nirvana. Divinity. Okay, that one's a little more sheer. Very pretty. Sixth Sense. Ooh. And Out of Body is going to complete the first row. Oh my gosh, those really swatch quite well. I think what we're gonna do with the two in the very middle, those are chrome flakes. So I'm gonna wait and swatch those last. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with those. So let's do the bottom row. So we have Zen. Oh, that's pretty. Angels. I'm doing this kind of upside down, so I thought it said Agnes. I was like, oh, that's an interesting name. Then we have Trippy. Oh, wow, okay. It's a really pretty multi-chrome. Then we have Escapism and Awakening. And those are the multi-chrome eyeshadows. They're calling these velvet chromes and glass metallics, so very interesting. And because I don't have a primer on, you really can't catch the shifts on any of them, but they are multi-chromes. I think this one and this one, which one is this? We have Trippy and then Escapism. They're showing up very clearly in person, but I think it's just harder to see when you don't have any sort of base on. Okay, now let's do the 2 Chrome Flakes. This is Heaven. It's a, it's a weird texture. I have one of the Chrome Flake pots, and it's kind of interesting to work with. That's really pretty though. You really do have to dig in to really get this on your finger though. It's kind of like a gel consistency. And then this is Paradise. So again, you got to get quite a bit on your finger to really get it. But those are the 2 Chrome Flakes. And that is the palette. So very pretty. Now let's do a look. My phone is officially covered in Chrome Flakes, which fine, whatever. I should have done a better job cleaning off my hands before touching my phone. They get everywhere, but I hope you like those swatches. I hope they kind of gave you a better idea of what to expect from this palette. I do want to say that I'm a little shocked at how pigmented and velvety the colors are. I mean, it's a $125 palette. They better be amazing. They better fold my laundry when I take it out of the dryer. These aren't going to do that, but at least we know that they are going to bring the pigment, which is nice. So let's get into the look. I think we're going to get a much different effect using black than white. We're going to put it to the test. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the white primer first. So this is, again, the Gimme Glow Primer in Blank Canvas. Gimme Glow, just please sponsor me. I love you so much. I just want to be part of your family. Well, I feel like I am part of their family because, you know, I'm just like obsessed, but okay. So we're going in with white primer. It's very white. Blank Canvas, I think, is a very good name for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to, I always say, let it dry down a little bit so that it's tacky. You don't want to use it when it's wet because it's not going to be the same. You want tacky. So we're going to let that dry down while we decide what we want to do for our look. So 2 of the colors definitely seemed a little bit lighter and less pigmented. That was Divinity and Angels. Those seemed almost more topper-esque, I would say. Probably a lot more shimmer than a normal topper, but a little bit lighter. So I think what I want to do is I want to go in with Divinity and do that on my upper brow because I think that's going to be really pretty. And obviously, you know, we're going to be using quite a bit of green. And for this palette, what I wanted to do is I did get kind of my thicker brushes that have more of a little more of an impact on them, I would say. You know, they're going to pick up more product because they're a little bit thicker. Now, this color is very shimmery. It's very glittery, but it is very pretty. And the only thing you have to worry about when using a colored base is that if the shadow you're using is too sheer, it's going to reveal the base underneath, and you don't want that. It's not going to look good. So that's normally why when I do use a base, I use something that is closer to my skin tone so that if I do use something sheer, you still can't see the primer. Okay, so we have so many pretty colors. So what do we want to do? I don't know. So I think let's go into Out of Body and just put that on the outer end of my eyes because I was gonna have to use this color because it's really pretty and it's picking up really well on the brush. Oh my god, look at that. That's insane. That's so pretty. It's going on so nicely. I got a little bit of fallout with the Divinity color. This one is just, it's like butter. It's, holy moly, it's smooth. You know, I want to bring Divinity out a little more. And one thing I've talked about in the past is that my eyes are a little hooded. So what you have to do when you have hooded eyes is you need to bring the eyeshadow up higher so that it's easier to see. Because if I don't bring it up higher, you're not going to be able to get the full effect, especially on camera. In person, it's a little easier to see. We're going for a peacock look today. I love it. Okay, next, I mean, to be honest, I want to use all the colors, but it will happen. I think I'm gonna have to do a few shorts just using this palette because it's so beautiful. But I have to go into Zen. Like I think I'm just going to, oh my gosh, put it in the middle. I feel like a peacock and I love it. I'm hoping that you are kind of getting the shift because I know it was harder to see before. They blend so beautifully with each other. That's always nice. Okay, next what I want to do is obviously go into Awakening. What a beautiful color. And we're just going to do that in the inner corner of the eye and see how that turns out. Oh my god. Okay, these colors are stunning, absolutely stunning. They really are. And it's funny, I feel like even though Awakening looks really purple in the pan, it's definitely looking more green. It's a peacock, right? It looks like a peacock. I love it. I love peacocks. It's a weird thing to say, I love peacocks. Well, how could you not love peacocks? The females are badass. They're like, we don't need to be colorful. We can be brown and we can just look like any other bird and we're still awesome. Okay, well, obviously we have to do something in the waterline below. So it's gonna be a little tricky, but I think we're gonna go into Nirvana and use that. And I need a different brush for that. Okay, and because this is so pigmented, I'm gonna go into a clean brush and just kind of smudge that out because I don't want it being too harsh of a line. Just want a little bit of color down there. Make sure it blends well with the other colors. Wow, it's amazing. Okay, next, I think we're gonna go into Heaven. We have to go into the Chrome Flakes because I'm not 100% sure how to use them. They're thick. Like I think I've mentioned, but I have a pot of the Chrome Flakes and I wasn't a huge fan. And I think part of the reason why is because I didn't pick up enough on my brush. So I need to pull that out again. Yeah, it's not really picking up on the brush. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna use my fingers. I'm gonna get enough so that it's like a gel-like consistency. I'm gonna attempt to put this in the corner of my eyes. Oh, it doesn't wanna go. Oh. I will tell you this, I do not want this stuff in my eyes. Well, I wasn't really going for a Halloween look today, but it's kind of what we're getting, which is okay. I think the Chrome Flakes are actually gonna be really awesome for a Halloween look, which I do have some of those planned, so look forward to those videos. Let's see. I mean, they're on there, they're not moving. They've kind of like adhered to my skin. They're such an interesting quality. It's just something that, it's definitely something that you would need to work with before you figure out the best way to use it. And I have not worked with them enough to really understand the best way for me to use them. So I need to play with them more, obviously. But this is our first impression. We're just trying it out. Okay. You hear my dog? She's very mad at being left alone downstairs. Okay, so we're gonna save eyeliner and mascara for the end of it. But next what I wanna do is I wanna go into the Gimme Glow Black Primer. It's in the color Outline. We're gonna see how much of a difference this makes to the colors. I feel like it's not gonna do as well on the upper lid because it's very black. And I don't think that Divinity Color has enough pigment to cover it, but we will see. Okay, I actually had to go clean that up a little bit because I got it everywhere. It's black, so it's very obvious. Okay, so again, we're doing the exact same look that we did on this eye. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Divinity, and we're gonna put that all over the upper lid. And again, this one is relatively sheer, so that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, you can definitely see the primer through it. Not as bad as I thought though. It looks like it's just a bunch of glitter on my eyelid. It's super pretty. Okay, next we're gonna go to Out of Body and put that in the outer corner and fluff it out a little bit. And let me see if you're seeing a difference yet with the primer. I think it already looks more green. But once again, it's going on incredibly smooth. Like, I don't have to keep dipping my brush in. It was just one dip, and that's the color payoff I got. That's really impressive. Okay, next we're gonna go back into Zen and put that in the middle. Then we're gonna go into Awakening and put that in the inner corner. I think you can kind of already see the different effect that the black primer is having on Awakening. It's making it so much darker and more vibrant, and it just really pops. Hey, that's not a real plant. Okay, and then we're gonna go back into Nirvana and put that underneath the waterline. And don't worry if you see Kitty snacking on a plant, it's fake. Okay, we're gonna, again, fluff this color out. My God, these colors are amazing. Okay, and then, again, we're gonna go back into the Heaven Chrome Flakes. I'm gonna go in with the finger again. I know for some reason that makes some people mad, but the finger is a tool. Like, don't be scared to use any tool you have at hand. And okay, we're gonna just pat it on. Okay, look at that, worked out. Those cornflakes are bizarre. I just like, I need to spend like a week just using them and applying them in different ways to figure them out. Okay, so before we review both eyes, talk about the differences we're seeing, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some eyeliner and mascara to really finish the look, and then I will be right back. Okay, here's the final look. What do we think? So bright, so fun. I just want to go party with this on my face because the colors are stunning. Now, in terms of how the colors performed, I will say I was stunned. I basically just had to dip my brush into the pans once in order to get enough color to completely saturate probably my entire eye if I really wanted to. Like, those are pigmented, those are smooth, those are creamy. They're a little wet. So I will say my eyeliner did not want to go on top of them. And I used my NYX Epic Liner, which I always use, and it's kind of my go-to, and it did not apply great on top of it. So I do think this is probably gonna work best if you wear fake lashes or if you have some sort of like heavy duty eyeliner. Again, this is gonna be another thing that I just need to play with until I find the right things that go well with this product. But yeah, it's a stunning look. I am pretty blown away. Now, the chrome flakes, I don't know what to do with the chrome flakes. So again, I think that's just something that I need to play with more so I can get more comfortable using them. They're a completely different medium than the eyeshadows are, and that just means they're going to be a little bit different in the way that you apply them, which is totally okay. I do think using your finger on them, from what I've experienced, it works best. They don't pick up great on a brush, but I think using your finger will really help to apply them and really give them the best oomph. In terms of using the different primers, I do think using the black primer really made the colors pop a little bit more. But I think also that these colors were so saturated that they were ready to pop on their own. I probably could have used no primer and they would have gotten a bit of pop, a lot of pop, quite a bit of pop. And I will insert a close-up so that you can see the eyes in all their glory and get a better idea of what the finished look looks like, because I know sometimes it's a little hard to tell on camera. But I can see that on my right eye, the colors just are more pigmented and deeper, and I do think that's because I used the darker primer, which totally makes sense. Now, is this palette worth $125? I had a gift card to Beautylish, and if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have picked this up because while all the colors are beautiful and it is a stunning palette, I'm not sure how often I'm going to use it, in full honesty. And that's only because I think that these colors just take a little more time to use. So when you're applying them, when you're using them, you really want to give it some time so you don't rush yourself. And they're duochromes and they're absolutely stunning, but I do have some indie shadows where I feel like the duochrome in it is, and that shift in the colors is a little more obvious than in this palette. Now, if you are somebody that, I don't know, has a pretty intense nightlife, goes to a lot of carnivals and raves, and I don't know, just likes to do bright things with their eyes, then this is a great palette. And if you're someone that wants something that's a little bit more unique, I would say this is pretty freaking unique because you have the amazing eyeshadows, you have the chrome flakes, and then you have the aqua liners, which I will be playing with at a later date. So it's a very unique, very beautiful palette. But again, you're not getting any neutrals in here. So if you're looking for something that has a neutral, this is not the palette for you. This is a palette for color, for multi-chrominess, a lot of oomph. You're getting a lot of oomph with this palette. Now, I will say the eyeshadows are worth an expensive price, but I don't know, $125 is a lot for a single palette, especially when it doesn't have any sort of neutral or mattes in it, but that's not what this palette is about. This palette is about being unique. So I think it really does achieve that. I do think the eyeshadows are beautiful. I think the chrome flakes are a little bit confusing, so I will continue to play with them until I figure out how to use them. And overall, I did have a lot of fun playing with this palette. So I'm glad that I was able to share it with you on here. And I would love to know your opinions on this palette. Is it just ridiculous? Is it too much? Or is it something that you need in your collection? Let me know. Okay, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!